It's Saturday, November 5th, 2022. Time for another Fireside chat with Dizzy and the fuzzy little puppy whose nose you can see. Oh, what a week this has been. If you watched my video last week, you saw that my dad apparently had a stroke. And, I went to visit him last Friday. Didn't visit him Saturday because other family were going. But then visited him Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Last Friday he was up in his chair. He was semi with it, but he couldn't talk. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I go to see him. He's in the bed. They didn't think he was ever going to get out of it. They believed he was transitioning. He was able to talk the one day. It wasn't completely clear, but I was able to understand him. And he said he needed to go to the bathroom, but when I went to get somebody, they said that, they had him in diapers and he wasn't able to get out of the bed. There was no way that they could get him up. I've been expecting any time to go in there and find him basically on his way out or to get a phone call saying he was gone. And when I was there yesterday, he seemed really bad. And I was almost dreading to go today because I thought for sure, that he was probably about done. I was hoping not because my sister's coming up from Florida. I don't know if she's here yet or not. And I was hoping that she'd at least be able to get to see him and have a chance to sit with him for a while. She was not able to make it up in time for her mom when she passed. And I don't know if she sat with any family members on her husband's side as they were going or not. But, figured it might be something that she would appreciate being able to do. Well, I get there today, sign in. I get back to his room. He's not in there. I about had a heart attack. I go almost flying out of the room, and it's like I see somebody that works there, and it's like, "Where's my dad?" And I says, "Oh, he got up. He's in the activity area with everybody else." And he had wanted to get up this morning. It only took him one person to get him out of bed. They were supposed to tell me how much he ate. They never did. But he was a bit more with it today. He was actually talking. I could understand what he was saying, even though his voice wasn't very loud. Of course, he still spends most of the time sleeping, and mainly when I go in there, I'm just sitting with him and not really interacting, because even before he went in the home, Dad wasn't much of a talker. We'd talk some, but mainly I was just there keeping him company, and we'd watch television a lot. So they don't know what to think. Of course, this could just be, sometimes I know people will rally right towards the end. So it could be all that this is. We'll see. While my sister is up, I am going to talk to her about maybe making what funeral arrangements we can, so that basically all we'd have to do once he does pass is date and time. And if we can have everything paid for, that would be a big help, and it would mean that much less that she has to worry about once he does eventually pass. She and I do share POA, and I have medical POA. I did sign a DNR for him this week. So when it's his time, it's his time. If you watched my videos, also, finally got on both Misty and Licorice. Misty was pretty good. She gave me a little bit of trouble about wanting to move, but I was able to get her to move. Licorice was the one that really was a problem. She hasn't been ridden in over a year, and she really didn't want to be ridden. I hadn't been going to ride her at all until I had talked to the farrier because of her feet, but I've been seeing her running some in the field and whatnot, and I figured if she's good for doing that, at least at a walk, I can ride her. So I did. Did not get done anything outside this week. In fact, I was having trouble getting done anything inside this week because with Dad going over to see him, that was taking over an hour and a half of my day. The days are getting shorter, and I was just struggling to get stuff done. However, I was finally able to get some dishes done. One big problem that I have is I'm not eating properly. Past couple of days I have eaten better. I haven't had dinner yet because didn't have time to eat something in the afternoon, which is when I like to eat because of coming out here now. And still only feeding the animals once a day. I did get rid of 7 hens this past week. I felt bad though because the one, I was going for ones that didn't have any orange marking on their leg or wasn't one of my broodies, and I grabbed one that had no marking. I didn't recognize it. I'm thinking, oh, it must have just been one of the ones that I had at my house. Well, later in the day when I was getting my chickens put away, I noticed that I only had 5 young ones where I should have had 6. I had 5 young hens and a young rooster in there. His name is Thanksgiving. I only had 5, so I think that I accidentally grabbed one of my pullets. I felt bad about that, especially since it was one I was planning to keep. But I'll be taking more chickens on Tuesday and then the following Tuesday, and it's getting my feed bill down. And of course I got rid of the roosters last week, so I bought chick feed when I was in Tractor Supply the other day. That might be the last of that I need to buy. I'm hoping it is. I only have 3 flocks left on it. The 1 flock is my next batch coming up. They'll be going in December, and then I think I have a batch for January and a batch for February. And of course I'll be keeping a young one out of the December batch. His name is Christmas, and then I'll have to figure out one from the last batch, and his name will be Easter. Well, that's about it for me for this week. Just relaxing out here. It's the last night before the time change, which I'm not looking forward to. It's still warm out here. It was in the upper 70s today. They are calling for it to start getting colder come next week, and it won't be too much longer till we have a hard freeze. So when we do get the hard freeze, and it's going to mean that I had to come out here twice a day because I'm going to have to get animals water morning and then check them at night. And it's the one last thing I have to do tonight is give them water. I've been just giving them, filling up the feeders and waters before I leave. So, like I said, that's about it for me. I hope it's nice where you are, and I will talk at you later.